Hello friends, my name is Kapil Mittal. We are back with the part two of the UPSC Civil Services GS Prelims previous years topic wise solved papers with the ancient history module. Here we will finish the remaining questions from the part 1 of the ancient history. The part 1 video of the link of the part 1's video is available in the description below, and keep on watching this video up to the last, because at the end of the video there is some surprise gift for you, so keep on watching till last. And if you are new to our channel, then please subscribe and subscribe to our channel so that you will get regular notifications of our new updates and new videos, and please share our videos more and more so that your friends and family members will get benefited. So let's move to our part 2. So in the part 1 we have done questions up to the 50 questions, and in this part 2 we will start from question 51. The practice of military governorship was first introduced in India by the this practice was introduced by Greeks, and Greeks first introduced military governorship in India, and they appointed their governors called strategos. That means military generals. It is the highest officer rank of their times. So the correct answer will be Greeks. Fine. So we will move to next question, and next question is which one of the following dynasties was ruling over North India at the time of Alexander's invasion? So at the time of Alexander's invasion, Nanda dynasty was ruling over the northern India, and Alexander invaded India in the 326 BC, and Nandas were ruling over India at that time. And the chronological order of these dynasties was the Nandas, then Mauryas, and then Sung dynasty came, and then Kanv dynasty. Fine. So the next question we will move. The next question is Hoysal monuments are found in. So these were found in Halebid and Belur, and this Hoysal Empire ruled area most of what is now Karnataka in India, and this was between the 10th and the 14th centuries. The capital of Hoysalas was initially located at Belur, but was later moved to Halebid, and the whole diagram is given here, and you can refer this. Fine. The next question 54, which was asked in 2001. Which one of the following pairs is correctly matched? The Harappan civilization painted graveware, the Kushan Gandhar school of art, the Mughal Ajanta paintings, the Marathas Pahadi school of painting. Fine. So the answer is the Kushan Gandhar. The Kushans related to the Gandhar school of art. The painted graveware belong to the later Vedic period, which was from 1000 to 600 BC, and the Ajanta paintings belong to the Gupta period, while the Pahadi school of painting came into existence during the Mughal period. Fine. So the explanation is given here, and you can refer this. So we will move to the next question 55, which was also asked in 2001. This is assertion reasoning type, and here the first statement or assertion is Harshvardhan convened the Prayag assembly, and the reason is given here. He wanted to popularize only the Mahayana form of Buddhism. So here the assertion and reason both are individually correct, while the reason is not explaining the assertion clearly. Fine. So the explanation is to popularize the Mahayana form of Buddhism. Harshvardhan convened an assembly at Kannauj, Fine. And the Prayag assembly was convened to popularize himself. So the answer is B. Next question we will move to which one of the Chola kings conquered Ceylon? Ceylon is called for the Sri Lanka region of that time, and the answer is Rajraj I conquered Ceylon or Singhal Pradesh at first. The period of Chola rule in the island of Sri Lanka began with the invasion in 993 AD, when Rajraj Chola sent a large Chola army which conquered the Anuradhapur kingdom in the north and added it to the Chola Empire. While in 1017 Rajendra conquered Ceylon or Sri Lanka, and this was the complete capture of the Ceylon by Rajendra, while the earlier the Rajendra one conquered only the half part of the Ceylon. Fine. So we will move to the next question, and 57, and who among the following presided over the Buddhist council held during the reign of the Kanishka at Kashmir? So out of these Parsu, Nagarjun, Sudrak and Vashumitra, Vashumitra is the correct answer, and the explanation is fourth Buddhist council was held at Kundalwan, Kashmir in 72 AD under the patronage of the Kushan king Kanishk, and the president of this council was Vasumitra with Ashok Ghosh as his deputy. This council distinctly divided the Buddhism into two sects, Mahayana and Hinayan. Fine. So we will move to the next question, and the next question is which one of the following animals was not represented seals and terracotta art of the Harappan culture? So out of these four, cow is the obvious answer. Cow, because cow, camel, horse and lion were not depicted on seals in the Harappan culture, while the unicorn or bull was the animal most commonly represented on the seals. So next we will move to the next question, 59, and this question is for matching the list 1 with the articles of the match. List 2. In list 1, ancient sites, historical sites are given, and in list 2, archaeological findings in these sites are given, and we have to match them. So here the Lothal is connected with dockyard, and because Lothal was one of the southernmost cities of the ancient Indus Valley civilization situated in the present day Gujarat, and Lothal had the world's earliest known dock. Fine. And this Kalibangan, here we found these plowed field, and Kalibangan was a major provincial capital of the Indus Valley civilization. Kalibangan is distinguished by its unique fire altars and world's earliest attested plowed fields. It is around 2900 BC that the region of Kalibangan developed into what can be considered as plant city. It was situated at present day Hanumangarh district of Rajasthan. Fine. And the Dholavira is connected with the here inscriptions comprising 10 large size signs of the Harappan script, and while the Banavali it is connected with the terracotta replica of a plow. Fine. So we will move to the next question, and based on this in 59 the answer is B. Fine. And next question, 60, and this was asked in 2002. Which one of the following statement is not correct? So we have to focus on this not correct. This is the keyword, and we have to mark this like this so that we will not do any mistake. And the first statement is the statue of Gomteswar at Sravan Bel Gola represents the last Tirthankar of Jain, and this is the incorrect. And because the statue of Gomteshwar was built in deference to Jain deity Bahubali, fine, and it does not represent last Tirthankar of Jains, and it is incorrect. So the remaining ones will be correct, and we will look at these. India's largest Buddhist monastery is in Arunachal Pradesh, and where the largest monastery is in Tawang Monastery located in Arunachal Pradesh. So Tawang Monastery, Tawang Monastery, fine, and it is the second largest in the world after the Potala Palace in Lhasa, Tibet. So Potala Palace is the largest one, and Khajuraho temples. So this is the answer, and this is correct one. Khajuraho temples were built under Chandela kings, correct, and Hoysaleswar temple is dedicated to Shiva, Lord Shiva. So we will move to the next question, 61, and this is asking, in ancient Indian Buddhist monasteries, a ceremony called Pavarna used to be held. It was the, so what was it meaning? So Pavarna is a Buddhist holiday celebrated on the full moon of the 11th lunar month. It marks the end of the month of Varsh, sometimes called Buddhist Lent. This day marks the end of the rainy season in some Asian countries like Thailand, where Theravada sect of Buddhism is practiced. On this day, each monk must come before the community of monks, and that is called Sangha, and atone for an offense he may have committed during the Varsha season. So here the monks are committing their mistakes in the Varsha season. So the obvious answer out of these four, the occasion, we will read first. Occasion to elect the Sangh Parinayak, and two speakers, one on Dham and the other on Vinay. The confession by monks of their offences committed during their stay in the monasteries during the rainy season. So this is the correct one, and we will move to the next question. And the next question is, the ancient Indian play Mudra Rakshas of the Vishakdatta. Earlier we have discussed 3-4 times this in the questions, and has its subject on. So what was the subject? The Mudra Rakshas, a historical play which was written in Sanskrit by Vishakdatta in 4th century CE, narrates the ascent of the king Chandragupta Maurya to the power in northern India. So this is the court intrigues at the time of Chandragupta. So this is the correct answer, and we will move to the next question, 63. Emperor Harsh southward march was stopped on the Narmada river by Emperor Harsha's southward march was stopped by on the Narmada river by Pulkeshin II. Who was Pulkeshin II? He was the Chalukya king of the Vatapi in northern Mysore. So the answer is B. Fine. We will move to the next question, and next question, 64th, which was asked in 2003. Consider the following statements. The Cholas defeated Pandyas and Cheras rulers and established their domination over the peninsular India in the early medieval times. The Cholas sent an expedition against the Sailendra Empire of Southeast India and conquered some of the areas. Which of the following statements is or are correct? So out of these two, the first one is correct and second one is correct. Both are correct. So we will take both 1 and 2. The Chola kingdom of the Sangam period extended from the modern Tiruchi district to southern Andhra Pradesh, and their capital was first located at Orayur and then shifted to Pohar. Karaikala was a famous king of the Sangam Cholas, and Pattina Pallai portray his early life and his military conquest. In the Battle of Veni, he defeated the mighty confederacy consisting of the Cheras, Pandyas, and 11 minor chieftains. The Chola emperor launched a successful naval expedition against the Sailendra kingdom. So we will move to the next question, and next question is 65. Here again, Mrichkatika. Earlier also it was asked 2-3 times. Mrichkatika, an ancient Indian book written by Shudrak, deal with. So it deals with the love affair of the rich merchant with the daughter of a courtesan. This Mrichkatika, or known as the Clay Court, is a Sanskrit play written by Shudrak in 2nd BC. Fine. And it is about the young man named Charudatta and his love for Vasant Sen, a rich courtesan. ठीक है. So we will move to the next question, and next question is, consider the following statements. Vardhaman Mahavir's mother was the daughter of Lichvi, a chief Chetak. Second is so this is here it is asking which of the statements are correct. So this is a wrong one. And second is, Gautam Buddha's mother was princess from the Koslan dynasty. This is correct. We will discuss here. And Parshvanath, the 23rd Tirthankar, belonged to Banaras. Fine. So this is also correct. So Vardhaman Mahavir's mother, Trishala, Trishala was the sister of the Lichvi chief Chetak. So she was not the daughter, but she was the sister. Fine. So this is correct and this is wrong. And while the Gautam Buddha's mother Maya married King Suddhodan, and who was Suddhodan? The ruler of the Sakya clan of Kapilvastu. And she was the daughter of the king Suddhodan's uncle, and therefore his cousin. Her father was King Devdada. So here, fine, this is correct one. And third one is Parshvanath. Parshvanath was born in Banaras or Varanasi in India, and he was the 23rd of the 24th Tirthankar. Fine. So second and third are correct, and C is correct. So we will move to the next question. Uh, 67, and this was asked in 2003. And consider the following statements. The last Mauryan ruler. Again here three statements are given, and the correct one was asked. So we will see all. The last Mauryan ruler Brihadrath was assassinated by his commander-in-chief Pushyamitra Sung. This is correct. And the second is, the last Sung king Devabhuti was assassinated by the Brahman minister Vasudev Kanv, and who usurped the throne. And this is also correct. And the last one is, the last ruler of the Kanv dynasty was deposed by the Andhras. So this is also correct. And all the three statements are correct. So D, 1, 2, 3 are correct. The last Mauryan ruler Brihadrath was assassinated by his commander-in-chief Pushyamitra Sung in 185 BC. Fine. And the last ruler of the Kanva dynasty, Shosharma, was deposed by the Andhras and Satavahans dynasty. And after this, the Satavahan dynasty came into being. Satavahan. Fine. So we will move to the next question, 68. And consider the following statements. Again we are asking which are correct one. So the Chinese pilgrim Faiyan attended the 4th Great Buddhist Council held by Kanishk. This is incorrect, because The fourth Buddhist council was held in Kashmir during the reign of the Kanishk under the presidentship of the Vashumitra Asugos. Fayan visited India during the reign of the Chandragupta II and not during the Kanishk. So not he is related here. This one. So yeah, this one. Fine. So this is wrong one, and Fayan came at the time of Chandragupta II. Fine. And the second one is the Chinese pilgrim Huensang met Harsha and found him to be antagonist to Buddhism. And this is also incorrect because he was not antagonistic to the Buddhism. Fine, when he met. So the both are wrong. So neither one, not two, correct. Fine. We will move to the next question, 69, and here also with reference to the ancient Jainism, which one of the following statements is correct? So Jainism was spread in South India under the leadership of Stalbahu. Incorrect. Because Jainism is spread in South India under the leadership of Bhadrabahu. Bhadrabahu. Fine. And second, the Jainas who remained under the leadership of Bhadrabahu were called Swetambars after the council held at Patliputra. So this is also incorrect because of this Swetambars, because they were the Jainas who remained under the leadership of Bhadrabahu were called Digambars and not Swetambars. So they are called as Digambars. Fine. After the first council held at the Patliputra by Stalbahu. So the next is Jainism enjoyed the patronage of the Kalinga king Kharvela in the 1st century BC. This is correct. So this is the correct one. In the initial stage of Jainism, the Jainas worshipped images unlike the Buddhists. So this is also incorrect. We will move to the next question, 70, and which was asked in 2004. Which one of the following four Vedas contain an account of magical charms and spells? And this was the Atharvaved, and Atharvaved is the book of magical formulas. This is book of magical formulas. Fine. It contains charms and spells to ward off evil and disease. Fine. So the obvious answer is C, and we will move to the next question. Who among the following was not a contemporary of the other three? So here the four are given: Bimbisar, Gautam Buddha, Milind and Prasenjit. Bimbisar belonged to the Haranyak dynasty, and Magad empire came into prominence under him, and he was the contemporary of the Buddha. So he is related to Buddha, and he strengthened his position by marriage alliances, and his first wife was the sister of Prasenjit. So he is also contemporary to the Prasenjit. And who was Prasenjit? Son of the king of Kaushal, who was also contemporary of Buddha. Fine. So these three are interconnected, and this is not so Milind is the answer, not contemporary. Fine. So Milind is the answer. We will move to the next question, 72. Who among the following laid the foundation of Rashtrakoot Empire? Rashtrakoot. So Danti Durg, a feudatory of Chalukyas, founded the Rashtrakoot Empire in 753 AD, and with their capital at Manyakhet, and where this is situated in the present day Gulbarg region of Karnataka. Gulbarg region of Karnataka. Fine. So the answer is Danti Durg. We'll move to the next question, 73. And between which of the following was the ancient town of Takshashila located? So Takshashila, we will see the diagram here, and this is India, and this is Pakistan, and here Afghanistan. Fine. So here these are the Indus river system, and this is Indus, and this is Jhelum, present day Jhelum. So it is present between Indus and Jhelum, because at that time two rivers Sindhu and Vitasta were mentioned there, and Sindhu's present name is Indus, and Vitasta is known as Jhelum. In present time Takshashila is situated in Pakistan, and we will move to the next question, 74. With reference to the invaders in ancient India, which one of the following is the correct chronological order? So Greeks, Shakas and Kushanas. Okay? Greeks came, then Shak came, and then Kushan, and this is correct, because Alexander who was Greek, came in 326, and then Shak came in 19 BCE, and this is also BCE, and then came Kushan, and they came in 45 CE. So the order is Greeks, then Shak, and then Kushan. Alexander was Greek king. The next question, 75. Consider the following statements. Ikshvaku rulers of the southern India were antagonists towards Buddhism. The Pal rulers of the eastern India were patrons of Buddhism, and which one of the above statements are correct? So out of these only two is correct, this and this is wrong one. Statement 1 is incorrect, as most of the inscriptions of the Andhra Ikshvaku period record either the construction of the Buddhist viharas or the gifts made to them, which shows that Ikshvaku rulers of southern India were supporters of Buddhism. So they were not antagonistic. This word is wrong here, and we have to be very careful while attempting the questions of the UPSC, because they put few words which were incorrect. So we will move to the next question, 76, and next question is Allahabad pillar inscription is associated with which one of the following? See, the Allahabad pillar inscription, this is single word, single phrase, Allahabad pillar inscription, while one may get confused for the Allahabad pillar, which mentions for the Ashokan pillar. Ashokan pillar was found at Allahabad, and which is also known as Allahabad pillar, while we are discussing here for the Allahabad pillar inscription is associated with which one of the following. So the Allahabad pillar inscription or a prashasti composed by the Samudragupta's courtier Harishan. So it was at Samudragupta's time, and who wrote? Harishan. Fine. Credits him with the extensive military conquest, and in this inscription Harishan mentioned about the military conquest of the Samudragupta, and it suggests that he defeated several kings of the northern India and annexed their territories to his empire, and he expanded his territory to this pink area and this one area, and it was mentioned here in this Allahabad pillar inscription. Fine. So we will move to the next question, 77. What does Bodhian theorem or Bodhian Sulva Sutra relate to? This Sulva Sutra or Bodhayan Sulva Sutra, it is related to the lengths of side of a right angle triangle, because in Bodhayan Sulva Sutra, three things are mentioned. In Bodhayan Sulva Sutra, three things are mentioned. First is Pythagoras theorem, the theorem which we know in present day by the name Pythagorean theorem or Pythagoras theorem. Fine. Second one is circling the square. Circling the square. And the third one is square root of 2. Square root of 2. Fine. So the obvious answer is the length of sides of right angle triangles, and this is related to the Pythagoras theorem. Fine. So I will move to the next question, 78. Anekantvad. Anekantvad is a core theory and philosophy of which one of the following? So this is related with the Jainism. The Jain metaphysics is realistic and relativistic pluralism. It is called Anekantvad, or the doctrine of mayness of reality. Mayness of reality. Matter and spirit are regarded as separate and independent realities. So we will move to the next question, 79. And there are only two known examples of the cave paintings of Gupta period in ancient India. One of these is paintings of Ajanta caves. So these are Gupta period paintings we find in Ajanta caves. Where is the other surviving example of Gupta paintings? So the answer is Bagh caves, because a copper plate inscription of Maharaj Subandhu recording his donation for the repair of the Vihar was found at the site of cave 2. Fine. Though the date of Bagh inscription is missing, the Badwani copper plate inscription is dated in the year Gupta era 167. So this is related with the Gupta era Bagh caves. Fine. So the explanation is given here, and we'll move to the next question, question 80. India maintained its early cultural contacts and trade links with Southeast Asia across the Bay of Bengal. For this preeminence of early maritime history of Bay of Bengal, which of the following could be the most convincing explanations or explanations? So we will read them. As compared to other countries, India had a better shipbuilding technology in ancient and medieval times. This is correct. The rulers of southern India always patronized traders, Brahmin priests, and Buddhist monks in this context. This is also correct. Monsoon winds across the Bay of Bengal facilitated sea voyages. This is incorrect. So both A and B are convincing explanations in this context. Fine. So we will move to the next question, 81. The Jain philosophy holds that the world is created and maintained by the universal soul. Fine. We will move to the next question, 82. Regarding the Indus Valley civilization, consider the following statements, and we have to identify which one is correct. It was predominantly a secular civilization. We are discussing about Indus Valley civilization. It was predominantly a secular civilization, and the religious element, though present, did not dominate the scene. This is correct. During this period, cotton was used for manufacturing textiles in the India. This is also correct. And we explanation, we have read about the Mehergarh cotton, which is earliest example of cotton cultivation in the old world, older than the Peruvians. So Mehergarh cotton, Mehergarh cotton. So this is the earliest known cultivation of the cotton in the old world. And the cloths were made of this cotton and even dyed, so they were colorful cotton cloths also available. And so the statement second is correct, and while the first statement is also correct and has been lifted from the famous, so this is taken from the history books, so both are correct. And we will move to next question. Next question 83, asked in 2011 first paper. The Dharma and Reet. Dharma and Reet depict a central idea of the ancient Vedic civilization of India. In this context, consider the following statements. Dharma was a conception of obligations and of discharge of one's duties to oneself and to others, while the second is Reet was the fundamental moral law governing the functioning of the universe and all it contained. So which of the statements given above are correct? So both are correct. This correct, so both are correct. Reet refers to the regulation order by the nature and was related to the conduct of the Vedic gods and humans, somewhere related to the moral and physical law. So the statement 2 is correct. And Reet was later replaced by Dharma and was more sophisticated form of the principles of law. As per Chanakya, Dharma was the promotion of one's own security, happiness as well as the social order. Fine. So both 1 and 2 are correct, and we'll move to the next question 84. With reference to the scientific progress of ancient India, which of the statements given below are correct? So for the scientific progress of ancient India, different kinds of we are asking for correct statement. Different kind of specialized surgical instruments were in common use by 1st century AD, and so this is correct. And second is transparent of internal organs in the human body had begun by the transplant of the internal organs in the human body had begun by the beginning of the 3rd century AD. Incorrect. The concept of sine of an angle was known in the 5th century AD. Correct. The concept of cyclic quadrilaterals was known in 7th century AD. This is also correct. So 1, 3 and 4 are correct. 1, 3 and 4. So C is obvious answer. So we'll move to the next question 85, which was asked in earlier also. We have covered same question in 1995, and again this was asked in 2011 with reference to the history of ancient India. Which of the following were common to both Buddhism and Jainism? So we have to avoidance of extremities of penance and enjoyment, indifference to the authority of Vedas, denial of efficacy of rituals. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. So which all are correct? So correct answer is this second is correct, third is correct, so this B. Both Buddhism and Jainism denied the authority of the Vedas and efficacy of rituals. So we'll move to the next question 86, and the Nagar and Dravid and Vesra are the, so these Nagar, Dravid and Vesra. So these are the main styles of Indian temple architecture. So temple architecture, so this is correct one and the others are wrong. So we'll move to next question 87. Lord Buddha's image is sometimes shown with the hand gesture called the Bhumi Spars Mudra. Bhumi Spars Mudra, this is the mudra in which he is sitting in meditation and meditation state, and with his left hand and palm upright. His left hand palm is upright in his lap, and his right hand is touching the earth, and this represents the movement of Buddha's enlightenment, and the earth witness Buddha is one of the most common iconic image of the Buddhism. So the answer is B. Buddha's calling of the earth to witness his purity and chastity despite the temptations of Mar. Fine. So the next question we will move to 88. The religion of early Vedic Aryans was primarily of. So because in the early Vedic Aryans they were worshipping nature and doing yajna. So the answer is C, and we'll move to the next question, 89. With reference to the guild or sreni of the ancient India, these guild of the ancient India, these that played a very important role in the country's economy. Which of the following statements are correct? So we have to identify the correct statements, and every every guild was registered with the central authority of the state, and the king was the chief administrative authority on them, and not. So this is incorrect. The wages, rules of work, standards, and prices were fixed by the guild. Correct. The guild had judicial powers over its own members. This is also correct. So one is incorrect, second and third correct. So 2 and 3 only. C. We'll move to next question, 90. Some Buddhist rock cut caves are called chaityas. So chaitya. While the others are called viharas, what is the difference between the two? So chaitya is a place of worship, while the vihar is the dwelling place of the monk, and this is B1. B is correct, because chaityas refer to the halls enclosing the stupas, and these were the worshipping places, and chaityas were probably constructed to hold large numbers of devotees for prayers, offering prayers. So this is a worshipping place, and the viharas. Viharas, on the other hand, are constructions built in ancient India in order to provide resting places for the wandering Buddhist monks. Fine. So this is the dwelling place. So answer is B, and we will move to the next question, 91. The question is saying, with reference to the history of philosophical thought of India, consider the following statements regarding Sankhya school. So Sankhya school related to the Sankhya Yoga, who was the founder of this? Kapil Muni was the founder of the Sankhya school of the philosophy. Fine. So Sankhya does not accept the theory of rebirth or transmigration of a soul. This is incorrect. Sankhya holds that it is self-knowledge that leads to liberation, and not an exterior influence or agent. This is correct. Which of the statement given above are correct? So only 2 correct. Fine. Almost all, because this Sankhya Yoga believes that self-knowledge leads to liberation. Almost all the rest of the philosophies of India adopted Sankhya as its main base, while the Sankhya Yoga also believes in rebirth. According to Sankhya Darshan, each Purush experiences bhog, upvarg, and takes birth repeatedly until Kaivalya. Kaivalya means moksha. Fine. So the answer is B, second statement only. We will move to the next question, 92. Which one of the following describes best the concept of nirvana in Buddhism? So nirvana means the extinction. This is the extinction of the flame of desire. So nirvana means moksha. Fine. So the complete annihilation of self, state, bliss and rest, mental states. So answer is A. The concept of nirvana was originally explained by Lord Buddha. The word nirvana comes from the root meaning to blow out, and refers to the extinguishing of the fires of greed, hatred and delusion. When these emotions and psychological defilements are destroyed by wisdom, the mind becomes free, radiant and joyful, and he who has realized the truth or nirvana is the happiest being in the world. He is free from all complexes and obsessions. He does not repent the past, nor does he brood over the future. He lives fully in the present, and he appreciates and enjoys things in life in the purest sense without self projections. He is free from thirst of becoming and illusion of self, and Buddhism explains nirvana as the state of bliss or peace. So answer is A. We'll move to the next question, 93. Which of the following characterizes or characterize the people of Indus civilization, Indus Valley civilization? So three statements are given, and select the correct statement or statements using the code below. We have to identify the correct statements. So they possessed this is regarding Indus Valley civilization people. They possess great palaces and temples. Wrong. They worship both male and female deities. Correct. They employed horse-drawn chariots in warfare. Incorrect. So only two correct. Indus Valley people did not possess great palaces and temples. Rather, the civilization was noted for its cities built of brick, roadside drainage system, and multi-storied houses. So this was urban setup, and they were never engaged in Indus Valley people were peace loving, and they were never engaged in any war. However, speculations have been rife that some tectonic forces destroyed the civilization. Some historians are of the view that invasion of Aryas and sea level changes, earthquakes might have brought the civilization to its end, and therefore people employed horse-drawn chariots in warfare is not true. Moreover, Indus Valley seals show swastik and animals, which is suggestive of their religious belief. In view of large number of figurines found in the Indus Valley, some scholars believe they worshipped Mother Goddess, symbolizing fertility, and they worshipped Father God, who might be a progenitor of the race and was probably a prototype of Shiva as the lord of the animals. So they have worshipped both male and female deities. So the answer is 2 only. So we'll move to the next question, 94. Which of the following statement are applicable to Jain doctrine? Jain doctrine, the correct answer. So statement are applicable for Jain doctrine. The surest way of annihilating karma is to practice penance. This is correct. And every object, even the smallest particle, has a soul. This is correct. Karma is the bane of the soul and must be ended. And this is also correct. So 1, 2, 3 all are correct. The surest way of annihilating karma is the practice of penance, and karma is the bane of soul and must be ended. स्वाध्याय परमम तप, स्वाध्याय परमम तप. According to Jain doctrine, penance washes away all the blemishes and purges the soul of all karmic matter. And according to Jainism, karma is the bane of the soul. Karma not only encompasses the casualty of transmigration, but it is also conceived as an extremely subtle matter which infiltrates the soul, obscuring its natural, transparent and pure qualities. Karma is thought of as a kind of pollution that taints the soul with various colors. Based on its karma, a soul undergoes transmigration and reincarnation in various states of existence, like heavens or hells, or as humans or animals. So answer is D. And we'll move to the next question, 95. With reference to the history of Indian rock cut architecture, consider the following statements, and which of the statements given above are correct. So we have to identify the correct statements out of 1, 2 and 3. The caves at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. This is incorrect. Because the Barbara rock, the Barabar rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivkas by the Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. This is also incorrect. At Ellora caves were made of different faiths. This is correct. So out of these three, only third is correct. So answer C. The Barbara rock cut caves are the oldest rock cut caves, not the Badami. So these are located at the Makhdumpur region of the Jehanabad district in Bihar, and it is situated in the twin hills of the Barabar four caves, and here four caves are there in Barabar, and Nagarjuni. Here three caves are present. They were originally made for the Ajivkas during the Mauryan period. 322 to 185 BCE. 322 to 185 BCE. So he and it have dedicatory inscriptions in the name of King Piyadasi to correspond respectively to Asok. So and who reigned between Asok. He reigned between 322 to 185 BCE. So it's not belonging to Chandragupta Maurya. These are belonging to Asok. Ellora caves were built between 5th century and 10th century. There were 34 caves, out of which 12 were Buddhist. So here total 34 caves, and out of these 34, 12 were Buddhist caves, and 17 are Hindu caves, and 5 are Jain caves. Fine. So these Ellora caves are dedicated for different faiths, and these caves, the beauty is these caves are the proximity of these caves clearly demonstrates the religious harmony prevalent at that period of time. Fine. So the answer is C, and we will move to next question, 96. The Chinese traveler Yuan Chuang or Huensang, who visited India, recorded the general conditions and culture of the India at that time. In this context, which of the following statement are correct? So we have to find the correct statements, and then based on code. So the first statement, the roads and river routes were completely immune from robbery, and not correct, so incorrect. As regards punishment for offences, ordeals by fire, water and poison were the instruments for determining the innocence or guilt of person. This is correct. And the tradesmen had to play duties at ferries and barrier stations. This is also correct. So second and third are correct, and B is the answer. The tradesmen had to pay light duties at ferries and barriers, and after paying the revenue, they could go to and fro to the barter their merchandise in the market. And the punishment for social offences, according to the traveller's account, were to cut off the nose or an ear or a hand, while for minor offences were dealt with fines. And to determine the guilt or innocence, ordeals by fire, water or poison were the instruments which were used. So the answer is B. We'll move to next question, 97. In the context of the cultural history of India, a pose in dance and dramatics called the Tribhang. What? This Tribhang has been a favorite of the Indian artists from the ancient times till today. Which one of the following statements best describes this pose? This Tribhang. One leg is bent and the body is slightly but oppositely curved at the waist and neck. This is correct. Facial expressions, hand gestures and makeup are combined to symbolize certain epic historic characters. Not correct. Movement of body, face, hands are used to express oneself or tell a story. Not a little smile, slightly curved waist, and certain hand gestures are emphasized to express the feelings of love and eroticism. Incorrect. So, what is this tribhang? Tribhang, this is the tribhang or tribhung is a standing body position or stance used in traditional Indian art and Indian classical dance form like the Odissi, where the body bends in one direction at the knees here and other direction at the hips and then the other again at the shoulders or neck. So this is triple bend position at knees, hips and shoulder. So see here, this bend, then this, and then here. Fine. So this is like S shaped curve. So three curves are there. Fine. So this is triple bend position, and this is very popular, and this statue of Bhuteshwar Yakshi's 2nd century CE, this is taken from Mathura art. Fine. And the pose Tribhang is the favorite posture of the Lord Krishna. Also we have often seen Lord Krishna standing in Tribhang posture before his cow Kamdhenu, or whenever he is playing his flute. Fine. So move to next question, 98. Consider the following historical places: Ajanta caves, Lepakshi temple and Sanchi Stup. Which of the above places are also known for mural paintings? So mural paintings, these Ajanta caves and Lepakshi temples are related to the or known for Lepakshi, or known for mural paintings. Fine. Ajanta caves have mural paintings in caves 1, 2, 16 and 17, and some of the paintings were commissioned by the Harisen of Vekatak dynasty. Harisen of Vekatak dynasty. Fine. The theme of the paintings was Jatak tales. This is the theme of these paintings. While in Lepakshi temple is renowned for being one of the best repositories of the mural paintings of the Vijayanagar kings. And while this Sanchi Stup has many beautiful sculptures but not mural painting. So there is no mural painting there. Fine. So the answer is 1 and 2 are correct. 1 and 2 B. So B is correct. Question 99. With reference to the Indian history of art and culture, consider the following pairs. Here the famous work of sculpture, and the sites are given here in bold. So correctly matched pairs we have to identify. So first is the a grand image of Buddha's Mahaparinirvan with numerous celestial musicians above and sorrowful figures of his followers below. Here it is paired with Ajanta, and this is correct, and fine. So this is correct one. Second is a huge image of Varaha avatar or boar incarnation of Vishnu as he rescues goddess Earth from the deep and chaotic waters, sculpted on rock, and it is matched with Mount Abu. So this is incorrect, while the correct one is Mamlapuram. Fine. And the third one, so this is incorrect. Third is Arjuna's penance or descent of Ganga is sculpted on the surface of huge boulders. And this is related with Mamlapuram, so it is also correct. So first and third are correct, and answer is C. So move to next question 100. With reference to Buddhist history, tradition and culture in India, consider the following pairs. This famous shrines, and this is locations. Fine. So here we have to identify correctly matched. So this Tabu monastery relates to Spiti Valley temple complex, because Tabu monastery and temple complex is in Spiti Valley, and Alchi temple complex is in Ladakh. So this is also in Ladakh. So this is correct. This is correct. While the Lotsav Lakhang Nako is in Himachal Pradesh. Where is this? This is in Himachal Pradesh. And it is here mentioned Jaskar Valley Temple Nako. Okay? While this Jaskar Valley is in Jammu Kashmir, where J and K. So this is incorrect one. The correct is HP. So the answer is 1 and 3 are correct. Answer C. While this Nako is correct, this is here Nako, but this is partially incorrect, so we will consider it as incorrect. Janskar Valley in J&K. Fine. So next question. Hundred one. 12 questions are remaining. Which one of the following pair does not form part of the 6 systems of Indian philosophy? In Indian philosophy, there are 6 systems of philosophy: Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshik, Mimamsa, and Vedant. So Mimamsa Vedant correct, Nyaya Vaisheshik correct, Sankhya Yoga correct. This is incorrect, so this is the answer. Sankhya, it is related to the Prakriti and Purush. Yoga, releasing Purush from Prakriti. Nyaya, logical thinking. Vaisheshik, realistic and objective philosophy of universe. Mimamsa, analyzing Samhita and Brahman portion of the Veda of the Indian philosophy. And Vedant, it is the climax of Indian philosophy. So we will move to the next question, 102. The national motto of India, Satyamev Jayate. Very frequent question in any exams. Satyamev Jayate. Inscribed below the emblem of India is taken from. This is taken from Mundak Upanishad, and word Satyamev Jayate came from Mundak Upanishad, meaning truth alone triumphs. Next question, 103. Which of the following kingdoms were associated with the life of Buddha? So here Avanti, Gandhar, Koshal, and Magad. Buddha was born in Lumbini, and which was in Kosal. So here the birth of Buddha at Lumbini. So Koshal, and Buddha died in Kushinara. He died. So, and this is in Magad. And Avanti lay outside the area visited by Buddha, so it is not related with Buddha in any sense, and was converted to his teachings by his disciple Mahakachayan. So Mahakachayan was the messenger here, and Gandhar is the western part of Pakistan and Afghanistan, where Buddha never went or visited. So this is incorrect. So 3 and 4th answer is C. Next question, 104. With reference to the art and archaeological history of India, which one among the following was made earliest? So out of these, Lingaraj temple, It was built by the Yayati in 1025 to 1040, and this rock cut elephant at Dholi, this was built during the reign of Ashoka's time, 250 BC, while rock cut monuments at Mahabalipuram, these belong to 7th to 8th century AD, and Varaha image at Udayagiri. It was built by Chandragupta II of Gupta Empire. So, Gupta Empire or Chandragupta II. So, in these, the obvious answer, which was the earliest one, is where BC, rock cut elephant at Dholi. So, move to next question. Which one of the following books of ancient India have the love story of the son of founder of Sunga dynasty? Love story of son of founder of Sunga dynasty. So it is Malvikagni Mitra. This is Malvikagni Mitram, is a Sanskrit play by Mitram. This is a play in Sanskrit and written by Kalidas. And the play tells the love story of Agnimitra, the Sunga, this Agnimitra, who was the Shunga emperor. And he falls in love with the picture of an exiled servant girl named Malvika. So here the Malvika is a servant. Fine. So we'll move to next question, 106. And here a table is given. In the context of history of India, consider the following pairs, and which of the pairs given above are correctly matched. So Aripatti, land revenue form from which a certain portion was set apart for the maintenance of the village tank. Maintenance of the from which land revenue system, from which certain part was set apart. Fine. So this is correctly matched, while Tanur's villages donated to a single Brahmin or a group of Brahmins, this is incorrect. And while Gatika's colleges generally attached to the temples, this is also correct. Fine. So occasionally a very large village would be administered as a single unit, and this was called Tanures. So 1 and 3 are correct, so D. So move to next question, 107. With reference to the religious history of India, consider the following statements. Sautrantik and Sammitya were the sect of Jainism. So this is incorrect. And Sarvasti Vadin held that the constituents of phenomena were not wholly momentary but existed forever in a latent form. And this is correct one. So correct one is asked. So 2. UPSC may ask which one is incorrect of these. So you have to be very careful while attempting these questions, and best strategy is to circle this word correct or incorrect, so that while marking your answer you will get clear indication. This Sautrantik and Sammit were the sects of the Buddhism, and so this Jainism is incorrect, and this is related to Buddhism. Fine. And Sarvastivadin sect of Buddhism believes that all things exist and exist continuously, and in the past and the future as well as in the present. So this second is correct. So move to next question 8. The paintings of Bodhisattva Padmpani is one of the most famous and oft illustrated paintings at Ajanta. This is a very famous painting and given in the NCERT full page. And this is given in the new NCERT 11th standard page 54. Fine. And name is given there, Padmpani Bodhisattva at Ajanta, cave number 1, and this is related to cave number 1 of the Ajanta. Fine. So this is the painting, mural painting, and Padmpani. Padma means this lotus flower, and Pani means in hand of the Bodhisattva, means Buddha. Fine. And this is mural painting. And question 9. Which of the following are famous for sun temples? So Arasvalli, Amarkantak, and Omkareswar. And this Omkareswar dedicated to Shiva, Amarkantak dedicated to Shiva, and this Arasvalli, as per the Andhra Pradesh government's website, Arasvalli is situated in Srikakulam district, and it has sun temple. It has sun temple where it is in Srikakulam district. Fine. Where? In Andhra Pradesh. So the one is correct and one only, so A. Move to next question 110. With reference to the difference between the culture of Rigvedic Aryans and Indus Valley people, which of the following statements are correct? So we have to identify correct statements, and so out of these first, second, and third, first we will read these. The Rigvedic Aryans used the coat of mail and helmet in warfare, and whereas the people of Indus Valley civilization did not leave any evidence of using them. And second is, Rigvedic Aryans knew gold, silver, and copper, whereas Indus Valley people knew only copper and iron. This is incorrect. So 2 is incorrect, and we can cut it here. Second, and how this is the method how we attempt questions. Rigvedic Aryans had domesticated the horse, whereas there is no evidence, and this is a very disputed one, because we are sure of this second statement. This is wrong one, because in class 12th NCERT chapter 1 page 10 lists the location and photographs of gold jewelry found in Harappan sites. So if gold jewelry is mentioned there in Harappan sites, so second statement is wrong, and the Indus Valley people also knew gold and silver also. Fine. So this eliminates option B and D, and we are left with the A and C option. Fine. So now we will move in the third statement. The ending part is, there is no evidence of Indus Valley people having been aware of horse. If we go by the history books written by the Krishna Reddy or the R.S. Sharma, at least in the post-urban Indus places, some people would be aware of horse. If we take consider this, then answer is C, because this third is correct. So answer becomes C. While if we go by Tamil Nadu class 11th syllabus, and A.L. Basam, Upinder Singh, so it is third is incorrect as per Tamil Nadu syllabus, and we remain with only statement 1. So as per Tamil Nadu syllabus, answer A. So there is dispute A and C disputed. So we'll move to next question. We'll not waste time here. Which one of the following was a very important seaport in the Kakatiya kingdom? Kakatiya kingdom seaport. Fine. It is Motupalli. Motupalli. It is mentioned in the medieval history books that Ganapati was the most powerful Kakatiya sovereign. Who? Ganapati. Ganapati. Motupalli, now in Krishna district, was an important seaport in his kingdom. So this is seaport at his time, frequented by foreign merchants. Thereby the answer is B. And here this ancient history portion ends, and we are remaining with the questions of year 2019, and we will cover these questions separately. Fine. Sorry, here we are remain with 2018 also, and we will cover them separately as a whole paper, because these are the recent year papers, so we will cover separately. And if you like this video, then please share this, like this, and please put on your valuable comments how you like this, and what else you want. And please, if you are new to this channel, then please subscribe our channel and share this. Thank you for watching this. And your surprise, the surprise is we are attaching the PDF of this lecture in the description here, and you can download it from there free of cost. And the description, in the description, the link for the part 1 of ancient history questions is also given, and you can go through that part 1, and in part 1 also the PDF is given there in description. So you can download these PDFs from the descriptions. And please follow our channel, and we are putting on some more valuable material regarding the this series, and we will continue this for next video will be for medieval history portion, and we will cover this in next lecture. Fine. Thank you. Goodbye.